Hello, hi, good evening, and you are watching Rise with Carol Gawker. I'm Carol Gawker. I'm an author, confidence coach, visual marketer, and change maker. Rise with Carol Gawker is a talk show, a platform where I showcase female entrepreneurs and inspiring females as well, so that they are able to share with us their struggles, their battles, and how they actually rise through the ashes to become who they are today. So if you're interested to be featured on this show, please do get in touch with me. And also I'm very, very thankful. Today is our 16th episode, and I have been able to get connected to all these amazing female entrepreneurs and inspiring females all around the region. And today I have a very, very special guest, and she's someone very, very special to me. She is my co-author on the book Breakthrough. And today, she's going to be sharing with us, her journey. Now, she is a global citizen. She was born in Montreal, Canada, and she had a nomadic upbringing. And as a daughter of an entrepreneur, she lived in different cities such as Hong Kong, Bangkok, Singapore, and Montreal, of course. And she has been teaching business for the past 10 years. Now she's taking her business lessons online with her movement. She means business. She believes that business can be fun, rewarding, and absolutely empowering. Hence, her passion is to equip women with business know-how and business skills so that they can win in any commercial success desire. Her lessons are delivered via podcasts, YouTube videos, and Instagram posts. She's also currently working on her second book. And this feisty entrepreneur is also extremely involved in community service, belonging to both the Rotary and Girl Guides. And she is a past president of a Rotary Club and a Brownie Girl Guide leader. So are you intrigued who this special lady is? And if you are, please join your hands together and welcome Miss Stacey Ho. Hello, Stacey.
Hi, Carol. Thank you so much for having me here, and hello everybody who's watching. Did it freeze? Hello.
Hi.
Oh, there's just a tiny glitch. Hi, Carol.
Yeah, there was a little bit. Hi.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Stacey, thank you so much for coming on to the show. Would you, share with the audience, a little bit about yourself? What's your story?
Sure. Thank you, Carol, for inviting me to be on Rise with Carol. It's awesome. My story is that I grew up in a very wonderful, loving, supportive family. My dad is a businessman. My mom is also a businesswoman. And I think my story is that my dad was always the main provider. And in my life, I just had everything planned from the beginning. Like I just knew when I was going to finish university, when I'm going to do my master's degree, when I'm going to marry somebody, when I'm going to have kids. And I had all of this idea of how my life would be like. And I think everyone would agree with me that when you plan your life, nobody plans that your parent or like your father would pass away. So I never imagined my father would pass away. And if you ask like the 24-year-old Stacey, I would just imagine that my life right now at 36, I would be like, a mom, and I would just go to work with dad and help him out and then just come back. So I always would play this supportive role in my family. And although I've been working since I was 14, my dad has trained me in business since I was 14 years old. I always thought I was going to be his sidekick forever until he unfortunately goes to heaven in the proper time, and then I would take over the family business. So this is my story that I thought was meant for me ever since ever. But what happened was 8 years ago, was it 8 years? I can't, sorry, 9 years ago, when unfortunately my father passed away, it's like I had to start from scratch and on my own. So it was a very interesting and trying time because there's the mourning part, like really grieving the loss of my father, but at the same time I wasn't allowed the time to do so because I had to fend for my family and provide for my family and also for myself. And not only
Mm.
that, to add on, like, because one of the struggles we face is that we were based in Bangkok, but at that time in 2010, there was a lot of political unrest. And at the same time, my father's cancer treatment was in Hong Kong. So we uprooted everything and moved to Hong Kong. So you can imagine, like, the 2010 or 2011 Stacey had no connections in Hong Kong. Okay. No base. I didn't go to school here. I don't have connections here. And I just had to start by myself, for myself. And the closest thing that I could reach to was tutoring, because
Mm.
it was so interesting. Like, I've always tutored my brother and sister, helping them for their high school or their, exams. And me and my sister Vic, we're always helping each other, because I have 5 brothers and sisters. So we're just helping out in school projects, and we're good at it. And what happened was, when I came to Hong Kong in 2010, because I trained in business, I have two degrees, one management degree and one accounting and finance degree. But when it came to the job market, somehow I wasn't able to get a finance or, a business
Mm.
investment, or actually any business job. It wasn't available to me at that time. And so I fell upon teaching economics and business studies, and also
Mm.
SAT, academic coaching prep. So that's what I've been doing for the past 10 years. And I started off with, I was thinking about how to share my story, but I started off as a tutor in a center.
Mm.
And it was quite good. The thing about being a private tutor, especially in Asia, I think we get paid really, really well. And for me, I found out that teaching was very natural, and I love teaching business, and I love teaching economics. And what happened was, the story goes is that I had on December 10th, 2011, I had to schedule a day to scatter my dad's ashes in the Victoria Harbor. And when I asked for leave, like, I wrote a letter to the boss, and I said to him, I'm so sorry, can I ask for a day off? Because I have to scatter my dad's ashes. The guy yelled at me.
Oh.
He's like, why does my company have to suffer for your personal, circumstance? And that's when I knew, I was like, you know what, I think I can really just do this on my own.
Yeah.
So I've been doing private tuition ever since then. And that
Mm.
is my story so far. And all this time I've been a private tutor, um, I've realized, like, how much I love teaching. And I realized the struggle of private tutors or teachers in general. We have so much content, but we don't know how to, or we haven't yet digitalized, or we don't have the business sense to how to leverage our skills and how to scale up our skills. And that's what I'm really excited to bring to the board in 2020. So that's where I am right now.
Yeah, well, I guess, I totally relate to what you just said, because the current COVID pandemic situation kind of like forces everybody to look at online as a media to
Yeah.
deliver their courses and their business. I mean,
Yes.
this is quite an amazing story. And from what I remember, that you actually work with youth, right? Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about about that.
So I naturally, because I teach high school students, so I teach
Mm-hmm.
high school students who are doing their O levels. I think it's the same thing in Singapore. Like, you have O
Mm-hmm.
levels and A levels. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
So we have IGCEs, GC. So it just means, in casual terms, grade 11, grade 12, grade 13 students.
Mm-hmm.
And I really believe that I really, in my heart, when I teach them and I work with them, I feel like, you know what, we have to really nurture them, because, as cliche as it sounds, this saying is very popular, because in my interesting point of view, it's very true. The youth really are the leaders of our future, if not today and our future. And when we neglect them, or if we don't nurture them in the right way, then our
Mm.
future really goes to, like, like, our future goes a totally different way. And I feel that one of the things that I feel passionate about, being a woman entrepreneur, um, I have a story to share with you. Is like, my father was always someone who really made me dream big. And he'd be driving his car and he's like, you have to dream big and aim high. This is something I've been totally indoctrinated into my DNA. And I remember when I was 8 years old, he told me, like, one day you could be the Prime Minister of Canada, which I don't think I can, because it's not something I want to do right now. But at that moment, he told me. But my 8-year-old self kind of thought about it and it felt exciting. But at the same time, as a young girl, I don't think I really wanted to do it, because when I thought about all the stereotypes or all the role models of who's having success and who's having power at that time, it was very like male. And it was very like, it's not a bad thing, but it's just something I didn't want for myself. I still want to be I want to be a mom. I want to like wear dresses. I want to be like, I still want to be girly, but I still want to, I think would be awesome to run a business as well. And that's one of the things that I feel especially passionate about young girl empowerment is like, we could just be, or teaching the girls, we can be who we are and bring that to the table and still be successful. Like, we don't need to like cut our hair short and wear pantsuits and be angry all the time to be a successful businesswoman. There are some businesswomen like that, and like, God bless them, and they're doing well, but that's not something that I would want to do. I just want to kind of share with women and young girls that they could just be themselves and achieve what they want. That's what I feel really passionate about.
Yeah. Well, I can hear the passion in your voice, definitely. So what are the common misconceptions, surrounding what you do?
Okay, what I do as a teacher, I think it's really interesting because I'm a teacher, but I always hang out in business circles, just maybe because it's the Rotary or all my friends are business people. So it's just like, I remember my best friend, Anna, her husband had like this IT company, and then they had like a social function. And then I introduced myself and they're like, oh, what do you, like, Stacey, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a teacher. And the moment you say like, oh, I'm a teacher, then people are like, oh. Like, and then Anna's like one of my best friends from grade 7. And she was like, no, actually, Stacey's an entrepreneur. And she does a lot of things. And I think one of the common misconceptions, it's not only about teaching, but it's like when we ask people what they do, it's like just box them in, like, this is what teachers do. And you guys must be the people who grade papers, and it just boxes people in. So I usually avoid this question. I'm just more like, okay, what are you passionate about, or what interests you? And the other common misconception I have is I feel like people think that we have to be like stronger and harder, and that being a woman in business, we don't know, or not many people know how to be still that feminine kindness, but being firm as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm very kind and friendly, but at the same time, I'm very straight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's not, sometimes the nice kindness side of being a woman, we're not willing to be that bitchy side, but it's not really bitchy. It's just about being straight and being like what's right and what's wrong and what works for me and what doesn't work for me, and having that preciseness to it. So those are conceptions that I face. I face the stereotype of, if I tell people I'm a teacher, which I've embraced a lot recently because I do teach. I also teach business courses to women, and I just feel like I embody what it is to be a teacher. I love educating people. I love empowering people. And for me, my skill is I take this complicated concept and I'm able to like very quickly connect with someone and very quickly be able to transfer the thought, the opinion, or the lesson for them customized. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you overcome that, when people just give you the look like, oh, you're a teacher, okay. How do you usually
I kind of I've been embracing it recently because, they're it's okay too, because most of the times if I have to meet someone in a business setting, then I have my business hat on. And I think it's okay to wear different masks and different outfits at different times. So for example, if I have to be like teacher mode, I'm more like down to earth, I'm like just more casual. But if I have like business meeting mode, I'm very blessed that my dad gave me, like, I have the Louis Vuitton bag. I have like the, what's it called? Like I have my Rolex watch. Like I can, if I have to game on, I can game on. So it's different. And I think that sometimes it's very easy to be discouraged by people's judgments. But the thing is, if we're aware of someone's judgments, then we can, at least the awareness can help us, and we can see how we can use those judgments to help us versus resist the judgments.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So just to share, like, there was this one time I was blonde. And it was like the best time of my life. I just loved being blonde. And I loved being blonde from this fact that, like, I felt empowered. I would look in the mirror and just tell myself, like, wow, this is really me. Like, it was amazing. But the thing is, what happened was two things. I was coming up to be the president of my Rotary Club. That was one. The second thing is that I had a chance to meet the managing director of this direct TV company in Singapore, with the potential of selling back my family product, which is a hair product, right? And when I knew that my meeting with the managing director was in 2 weeks, I right away went to the hair salon and dyed my hair brown. Because it's not about me. It's because sometimes people say, like, well, me's me. I want to be my true self. I want to be that blonde. But the thing is, I'm aware of people's judgments, and I'm aware of people's misconceptions. And I think it's kind of foolish to say, like, I know she's going to judge me as reckless. I know she might judge me as, like, just like a bit quirky, but I don't care what she judges me as. Instead, for me, if I know what she's going to misconceive me as, I'm going to work with that in order to, like, get a step up. So that's how I deal with misconceptions.
Right. So we have a few comments from the audience. We have Sunny saying that, I remember you were blonde. Yeah, I would love to see you in blonde. Yeah, I was blonde once as well. It was actually quite empowering, surprisingly.
And yeah, PP Sunny, he is a past president of the Rotary Club of the Hub Hong Kong, and he's really my good friend. And it was a time when I remember going to all these Rotary events. We were like, Stacey, like, what's up with your hair? And like, what are you doing with your life? And like, I understand it, and I understand there's all this judgment of, like, what's this wild child doing? And the thing is, instead of resisting it, and instead of trying to defend it, I'm just going with understanding where they're coming from, and then kind of asking myself, am I willing to change the color of my hair in order to, am I willing to keep to my hair at the expense of losing some opportunities ahead? And I decided my hair color was not as important as the opportunities that lay ahead of me.
Yeah, true. I totally can relate with that. And we also have another comment from Tony. Tony said, I'm not a woman, but I always support. It's like he's always supporting women. Thank you, Tony, for that. Yes, we really do need a lot of support from men. Yeah. And I can totally relate to you. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I just wanted to say before, sorry to cut you off, Carol, but I have, like, my whole movement is to empower women. The really funny thing is, I have like an army of men who support me. Like, I am just surrounded by so many angels, and they really do happen to be predominantly men. So yes, men, continue supporting women. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we could really do the support.
Yeah. And you were saying?
No, I would just say, you actually touch on quite a few things that I care about as well. I mean, as a visual marketer, from an image and branding perspective for entrepreneurs, it's unfortunate that we have to look a specific way in order to gain the like and the trust factor. When this is just part and parcel of doing business and part and parcel of living as well. And I can totally relate with you. And the kind of like visual impact you're gonna have. You walk into a room, you have your game face on, and then you're blonde. It's like the blondes is when your hair is blonde, you don't have this intention, this idea that blondes always have more fun. So the credibility is that are you more fun, or can I trust you in order to
Correct.
be a business partner, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So of course, it's like to some people, who are creative, and they say, "Oh, you are being a sellout. Why can't I be who I am? This is me. Blonde hair or not. I mean, I can color my hair whatever I want. I don't want to conform to the societal norms or conception of how a woman or a businesswoman should look like. But at the end of the day, we live in such a visual world, and then
Correct.
in within 3 seconds, really, within 3 seconds, people form an opinion of you in terms of the way how you carry yourself and what you put on your body, including your hair, which is your crowning glory. So this is something that I do advocate for my clients when it comes to branding. They have to be their walking brand. So you
Yes.
really touch on the raw nerve that, yeah, yeah. So and why do you think it's important for women to be enterprising?
Oh my goodness. Women have been enterprising since forever. It's okay. What I teach about in enterprise is a word in business where you coordinate the factors of production. So we have land, labor, and capital. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are economic terms, these are our factors of production. And
Mhm.
enterprise is coordinating the three while taking a risk to get a profit. The thing is, women are amazing coordinators.
Mhm.
We are, I mean, I think part of me to say, like, I'm more of an equalitist. How do you say this? I think, yes. I can't think of the word right now, but it's more like I believe in equality. I'm actually not a feminist. I'm more just equality. And I'm more about just like, we can be ourselves and win, which also
Yeah.
applies to men. Just that, um, it's my marketing message is more for women because I talk about more girly things. But of course, like people like Tony, he can listen too, right? So I think women, we are so good at coordinating. We are amazing. We're driven. We're really passionate. And I was thinking about today the things that I'd like to share with you in this on your amazing talk show, Carol. And my experience is, for example, I love my father so much. I do everything and I pour so much energy and I uplift my father and his business.
Mm.
And I think women, a lot of us, or I hope a lot of us, in a way, the way that we show our love for our man is that we like uplift and help his business. I think you understand where I'm talking about because you're
Yeah.
similar to mine, right? So, and when I love a man, I also help his business up. So I think we have it in ourselves. Like we're so good at building businesses and we're so good at supporting and being very resourceful. But the question is, when will we do it for ourselves?
Yeah.
Yes.
High five to that, sister.
I did it. I built this. I mean, I was helping my partner with his language business for like, geez, damn, like 5 years. And then, when the partnership ends, it's just, I have to walk away with nothing
Yeah.
and then start from scratch again. And then I told myself, next business, next time up, I'm going to build something for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I really think that women, we're a lot more capable than we give ourselves credit for. And
Yeah.
we live, it's like in our program, sometimes we live for other people. We're so selfless and we have all this like
Mm-hmm.
selfless energy. And I'm
Yeah.
just asking for 10% of what we give to someone else. If we just took 10% and put it for ourselves, we could like conquer the world. Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I totally agree with you. So, for the audience who are watching us tonight, if you have a question for Stacey, do feel free to put in on the comments box below, and then she will be able to actually answer your question. We'll go through all the questions and try to answer the question by the end of the show. And so while you're preparing your questions, I'm going to start asking away, right?
Hey.
So Stacey, one of the most common, I would say, reason for women who are not looking to starting their own business is because they're afraid they're unable to have a balanced work and life, right? So how do you balance your work and life?
Okay, so I happen to be single, so I don't necessarily have this work family balance issue at the moment. Okay. If I answer as this, I'm going to answer in two ways: answer as a mom and answer as a single lady. As a single lady, I'm going to say that I fully believe that there's no such thing as balance. That when you do something, you just go hard. You don't eat. He's like, you don't eat, you don't sleep, you're like, ah. Like for me, like I taught 10 hours today. I was teaching for 10 hours and I came home and then like I'm here with you online. Um, right now I'm juggling 3 different projects. I'm doing my teaching. I have a full-time teaching job. I have my part-time teaching job. I'm working on my book and I'm starting my investment journey, which I'd like to tell you more about. And it's just like there is no balance. I really feel like people who say that there's a balance, they don't understand what it takes to win. What it takes to win is like you just got to go hard and accept that there's not going to be a balance. Okay. And one of the things we have to do is we just communicate. We just communicate that, you know what, I'm going to have to focus on this for a certain period of time. And then I just need your support. I might not be calling you a lot, or I might not be like exercising as much. I'm the pure example. If I'm on my exercise, I'm doing like this 3 months where I do 2 hours of workout a day. I'm like in dragon boating. I'm my personality. I'm a very intense person basically. So I always just, my intensity is really high. So if I'm going to work on my business, and we have a mutual friend, Andrew, he and I have this 5 a.m. exercise club. Okay. So when we're on, we're on. And then I told Andrew, Andrew, first of all, my back's shot. I can't really exercise. And I really want to focus on my businesses right now. And I have to knock it out. So I think it's about prioritizing and how to get it. But is there a balance? I don't know. And I don't think there is. At the same time, to answer you as a mom, because God blessed me with this wonderful opportunity to be a foster mom for 5 months. And it's like being a mom and actually being a wife and having my own family, having children, is my deepest wish in my heart. And it just happened to fall in my lap in January earlier this year. And because of COVID-19, I was able to extend how long these children were staying with me. And I'll tell you that when I was with them, I fully understood the struggles of a working mom. Because you want to be 100% with your kids, but you also know that you have to work. So part of me during that time, I just told myself, okay, you know what, Stace, you're just going to have to not work on any side projects. So when I was with them, I didn't do any side projects for 5 months. And I just focused on my regular income from teaching. And also God blessed us that I got to teach online. So I didn't have to leave my house. So the kids would be in one room and I'd be in my room. And the other thing is like, when I really did need to work, so I did have some days where it's like 6 hours teaching a day, and I did feel a little bit bad of not giving them enough attention. But the thing is, children understand, and I think if you just have this really strong communication with your family and children, you can let them know. So what I did, for example, I had to teach for 2 hours. And I was just like, look, I can't be with you for 2 hours, but how about you watch 2 hours of Glee? Like this TV show that they like. And I'll be like, or like for 2 hours, how about you guys watch a movie? And then they're like, yeah. And then they're so happy to watch a movie. They're so happy for me to be teaching so that they can have their personal playtime. So I was able to like work and create work as a single mom with them, and them knowing that I love them knowing that I'm there for them, but just that I had to have my work mode. So that was my experience as a mom. And so as a mom, I would say I fully understand why sometimes we want to prioritize our children versus,
Mm.
I dare say, a career, because it really is important how much we nurture them and we love them. And at the same time, I feel like there's ways that we can communicate with our family
Yeah.
to make them know that it's okay and that you're still there and they have that security. And as a single woman, I'd say like there's no balance at all. You just have to really go hard. So that's my really intense answer.
So, what were the struggles? What did you have to go through in order to be where you are today?
Um, I think one of the struggles, okay,
Mm-hmm.
speaking as a teacher, actually, teachers are wonderful vaults of information. Okay, we have so much information, we have so many case studies, we have so much passion, but we don't really know how to incorporate business.
Mm.
And I think that I learned about leveraging and I learned about scaling, which is like right now as a private tutor, even though I'm making very good income right now, in my interesting point of view, because my rate is like 150 US dollars an hour. So I'm really blessed like that. And at the same time, when I work, I I have to work in order to have this cash exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I'm really passionate about and exploring, of how to help people take their hourly skill that they have and digitalize it into a course, and
Mm.
digitalize it to put some online content so that we can build a business, so that when you're sleeping, people are listening to your class as well. So this is one of the struggles I have as a teacher, of how to get my work physically down and physical and like online uploaded and course content. And this is a journey that I'm sharing with everybody who's following me on She Means Business.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. But we do have a question from Sunny, and then Sunny was saying, how did you come about being a foster mom? And I'm actually quite interested to know as well. How old were they?
Okay, so thank you, Sunny, for your question. What happened was that I am very one of the things as the community service director of our Rotary Club is that if I investigate, I don't want to say the word investigate, but I'm always seeking organizations to support. But the nature of our particular Rotary Club, I would say, I love it so much, but if I'm going to put to the board a community service project, I really have to do my due diligence that this is a legitimate organization. And so what I usually do is I get to know an organization personally for around 6 months. So
Mm.
there's this wonderful organization in Hong Kong. Check it out. Their Facebook page is called Mission Bridge Connecting Lives. But the charity is called Ultimate United. And what they do, one of the projects that they do is on every Friday night, not now because of COVID-19, but every Friday night, they gather in the Saigon Street Playground Park and they do street ministry for children.
Oh,
And they've been
awesome.
doing this for 9 years already. Okay, so they really take care of 400 street kids in the Yao Mong district. And I wonder, I don't even know what's the equivalent of Yao Mong district in Singapore. I'm so sorry, Carol. But it's more of, it's a very urbanized area,
Mm-hmm.
if that's how I describe it. It's very urbanized. Um, and at the same time, there's a bit of a dark side of Yao Mong area, is that while you're walking towards the park,
Mm-hmm.
while the kids are walking towards the park, there are prostitutes on the street. There are shops with sex toys, and there may be people peddling drugs on the street towards the park. So this is the
Wow.
environment that these kids are in. And what had happened where there were these four children in the same family, sorry, like four siblings,
Mm-hmm.
and due to family situation, they lived in a group home in Hong Kong. And it just so happened that I was able to let them have their home stay at my home during Chinese New Year so that they wouldn't have to spend Chinese New Year celebrations in the group home.
Mm,
So we
wow.
did this for 10 days. But again, it was like amazing because God bless us that we had this extreme lockdown and in Hong Kong, kids haven't been going to school since February 5th, or actually before that, like January 19th. So every time the government said, no, it's not time to go back to school, then they didn't have to go back to the foster home.
Mm,
So they got to stay with me.
wow.
And it just extended. And the very good news is that their family was able to reunite, and now they're living with their family.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I really, I, I was able to, because I'm a single woman, actually, technically, I cannot be an official government foster parent, and I cannot get the foster parent monetary support.
Mm-hmm.
So this arrangement was more so like a family, the woman whose children were in the foster care, in the orphanage group home, she gave me permission to look after them.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it was a really rewarding experience, and it gave me perspective of, like, I can't say, Carol, I know you have two beautiful children and you're so blessed you've had them for like 9 years and more. And I've had those kids for 5 months. I can't imagine how wonderful it is to be a parent, and also the interesting journey of parenthood.
I'm sure you will make an amazing, amazing mom.
Yeah, it's super fun. I think
Yeah.
parenthood is fun. I think like we can write books about parenting.
Probably that's gonna be like a third book project then, about
Yeah.
parenting.
Like,
About
how
parenting plus education. What you say?
like how not to go crazy being a mom. Like,
Yeah. We do definitely need that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we seem to have quite shy audience tonight. Okay,
No?
we have viewers. Yeah, no questions. But then then that means I have more chances to ask you questions so that I can learn more from you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for women who are looking to start a business, and because you are an experienced entrepreneur, so what would your advice be for them to get started?
Okay. So I think it's awesome that we have this fire in our heart to be an entrepreneur. And I would even take it a step back and demystify it. It's like, would you just like to do your own thing and earn money for yourself and live life on your own terms that you're passionate to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying quit your job at all. I even have a full-time job and I'm pursuing my entrepreneurial pursuits in the meantime. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's about this invitation that it would be fun to run a business. And
Yeah.
so on that note, I think the area or the industry or the goods and services that we choose, like choose something that's really natural.
Mm.
Like you don't feel like you have to stretch for. I'll say something about that after. And also choose something that it's like, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So for me, like teaching, I always shocked that I get paid so well to do something that I'm just myself. Like I don't necessarily do anything extra. I just show up and I'm just 100% myself. I'm 100% authentic, and I created a self-employed business from that.
Mm-hmm.
And even before I was doing coaching, I also felt like it was something very natural for me to do because I naturally care for people. I naturally want to just do this. And very recently, ever since I put it, I said a prayer and I had this like deep intention in my heart that I want to help women who want to start a business but don't know how to, don't know anything about business. Just since then, my really wonderful close friends, like my best friend from university, Andrea, I had a conversation with her and she was saying that she was looking into being a children's author, book
Mhm.
author. And she was talking about business and she's never done business before. And then Donna, she's very good at baking. And again, she's never done business before. So we're talking about it too. And it's just about following your passion, I think. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to just do something for money. It would really suck. I think that the intention to provide for our families is there and it's really wonderful. But I'd like to add this, Carol, is that sometimes we need financial awareness of how much
Mm.
money we really, really need to make or really, really want to contribute to support ourselves and our family. And when you have that figure and that clarity, then, you know, it helps you frame what you want to do and how
Yeah.
much effort you want to go for. I also would advise women who are interested to start their business is to just research and just look and comb through the web and read magazines and talk to more people and just see what are other people doing and see if that's something that excites you.
Yeah.
What I can't emphasize it enough of doing something just for the sake of money or just for the sake of just something that's not following your heart. It it feels very tiring. I don't know if you've had this experience, Carol.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like when I first started out my business, I just thought, I want to make enough money in order to cover my expenses. And having, left my corporate job and saying, I want to make as much as, or if not more, from my last salary. And then somehow along the way, I realized that, this is an opportunity for me to actually live my purpose. And
Yes.
then that just switched,
Yeah.
and then I began to enjoy doing what I do. And so, and when you mentioned about, how you feel so passionate about coaching, about teaching somebody because you have so much information to give, I felt the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I can feel very strongly from you that you came from a place with actually very, very giving. You came from a place of love, and that's what makes you so awesome.
No, thank you. Thank you. I would also want to add for women, it's important to have mentors. And I have a
Mm,
little story to share with you, if I
yeah.
may.
Yes, please.
My One of my favorite shows is this show called Shark Tank and Dragon's Den. I don't know if you
Mhm.
see it. It's like these like five entrepreneurs that are like sitting on their chair and then someone
Yeah,
comes
Carrie
in.
Harrington. Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
come in and they do like a business pitch and then you're just like, yes. Ugh, no. I love that show so much. I tell my students to watch it and in my heart, I really want to be like a business angel venture capitalist like this. And I really want to just listen to people and give them money to make their dreams happen and also have a share and support them to build their dreams. And so I was talking to my Uncle Toby. So my Uncle Toby is one of my mentors. They say like a successful person has 7 mentors. 7.
Wow.
So I have more than 7. So I'm like I've done really well with that, and I think that's what made a really big difference. That even though I'm teaching and people can box me in as a teacher, I never box myself.
Mm.
I just told myself, this is what I'm doing for the income, and I love to do it. And then it doesn't take so much mental energy from me, so that let's say I teach for 6 hours and then I have 18 other hours to make money and do other businesses. That's what I've been doing all these years. So Uncle Toby says, Stacey, really, what do you want to do in 10 years from now? And I said, okay, Uncle Toby, there's a show called Shark Tank. And like, I really want to do this. And he laughed at me.
Oh.
but he loves me. So he just laughed at me and he's like, oh my God, you silly girl. He's like, how do you expect to do this with 10, you've just been teaching. And it was such a brutal but wonderful, loving truth that he said to me. And he's told me that last year.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like put a seed in my heart. And I said to myself, I really want to get back into this business world that it's like from 14 until the time I was like 27, I've always been in business. Then when my daddy went to heaven, I had to, like, the fastest thing that I could touch was teaching. And I did it. And it's very good income as a private tutor in Hong Kong. And that's also the trap too, of the comfort and the income, that I don't step out. And so what happened recently is, like, with my foster kids, I watched the movie Pursuit of Happiness. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about Will Smith, and he decides to change his life by becoming kind of a stockbroker, investment consultant.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that too. So I studied and I passed the test.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I found asset management company, and I've been going through training, and I'm getting my license in the next 3 weeks.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, you have to tell me more about this offline.
And I have an amazing mentor, and he's actually quite patient because I teach 10 hours a day. So I don't even know like when I can do this investment consultant field. But the thing is, because I have a mentor right away, he's like, Stacey, you're going to be this industry. You're going to read these books. And like, I have these books to read. And like, I have these 3 thick books to read. And what happens is I read like around 2 business reports every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to train myself to be that amazing person in 10 years that I want to be. So that's my next jump. And I want to give credit to my really good friend, Yogesh Kapoor. He's like one of the best speakers in the world for Toastmasters. And he has a public speaking company in Jakarta. And he called me yesterday and he's like, Stacey, like, what are you world class in?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really good question, because that's a leading question to what business we want to pursue. Like, Stacey, what are you world class in? And my answer to him was teaching. And so now I'm really going to lock myself in my room the next 10 days and really come out with like some product for training the trainers and training the teachers. And at the same time, his question inspired me a further question of, well, what do you want to be world class in?
Mm.
And for me, my next jump is I really want to be world class in investments. And so on that note, I'm not world class in that yet, but I have to dedicate that time, that effort, and go all in, and to be that superstar in it. And I think that for women, sometimes it's about what you're passionate about and what you can do right now. But at the same time, if there's any women out there who have something that feels interesting to them, they feel like it would be cool to do, but they don't have that skill set yet, don't let that stop us. Just learn the skill set.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you couldn't say any better.
Yeah.
And I think that's also probably the reason why the name of the business is called She Means Business, because you really do mean business. So, for the audience who are watching today, you can actually follow Stacey's business on Instagram. She Means Business. So this is the link below, instagram.com/she. Full stop means full stop business.
Right? I have
and
to give credit to my sister. She's my little sister. Her name is Isabel Ho. And really interesting is, like, my whole life, I think my superpower, the thing I want to say today is my superpower is that I'm very blessed. Like, God has really blessed my life so much. And like, I just kind of have to feel what I want. And I kind of stretch my arm a little bit, and it's like all these resources are to me. And it's so ridiculous how in the roof of my home, I have a social media consultant living with me.
Wow.
And she charges companies over 10,000 US dollars a month to do their social media marketing and their like how to gain influencers and blah, 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 blah. And my sister now is working with me. She helped me come up with the idea of She Means Business. She's helping me digitalize my products. She's actually such a hardcore, she's so intense. Like, you think I'm intense, my sister's intense. And she has me on a schedule of the videos I have to make because she's dedicated to help me get to 100,000 subscribers in a year. So this She Means Business, like I mean business, but my sister really means business, and we're like building this together. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and for those who are watching, like to get connected with Stacey, you can connect with Stacey on Instagram. That's the Instagram handle, instagram.com/Stacey_Ho. Wow.
Yay.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing, Stacey. I have one last question for you. The name of the show is Rise with Carol Walker. So what does the word rise, RISE, means to you?
I love it because, first of all, I want to tell everyone on this show that Carol is uberly professional with this, and she sent me like interview questions. She's very pro, and thank you so much, Carol, for having me on your show. And Carol and I both have this book. She's chapter 9, is it? Are you chapter 15?
I think 15. I'm 15. You're
15
chapter
and I'm
9.
15. And her chapter is called Rise from Ashes. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I was thinking about this, because it was one of the interview questions, I think about the word resilience. And resilience is the ability to get up when you've been knocked down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Rise means to me. I cry a lot. Like, when I cry a lot. And I remember my struggles is, you know what I hate? I hate the moment, not when I fall down. I'm okay with that, actually. I'm okay with falling down. But I hate the moment where I've fallen down and I know I have to get up, and I'm now like at this like plank pose. Do you know, like when you like at a plank pose and I'm holding it, and that's the hardest part for me because I know that I will rise, but I feel like it's going to take me so much to get up. Resilience is your ability to get up. And what I've come to realize in the past 2 years is that if I feel like resilience is on my own, it is very hard. Rising is very hard when you feel like you're on your own, but to really put in some spiritual tones, which I firmly believe in, rise is actually natural, and it is actually it's actually so supportive when you know that God is with you, then you just rise. And Carol, my chapter in the book is called You Got This. But I really want to talk to, Johnny Wimbry and talk to the editors. They're going to kill me. But I kind of want to change the title. It's not about you got this, because that's what makes it heavy. It's that God's got this. And if God's got this, then I'm okay. So I think the rise is when you know that, like, whatever happens, you can get up. And you can get it as that you have God's support with you.
Yeah. And I absolutely love what you just said. Because after backsliding for a long time, and then I finally found God again, and He has been instrumental in my journey so far. And for those who are actually watching, I don't mean to be religious at the moment, but the thing is, you need to find an anchor. And with whoever you believe in, or whatever religion you are, find an anchor. I mean, that's actually very, very important in order to push you through that journey in life.
Yes, 100%.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yes.
you, Stacey. You shared so much, and I learned so much from you today.
Thank
And
you
for
so much
those
for
audience,
having me.
yeah, for the audience who have been spending the last 54 minutes watching us, I sincerely thank you for hanging out with us. And I'm sure that you have learned so much from Stacey tonight, as much or if not more than I have. So this is Rise with Carol Gawker. Next week, come back again, same time, 10 o'clock on Thursday, and we'll have another amazing guest who will be here sharing her journey. Okay, so
Yay!
yay! Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you.
God bless everybody watching.
Goodbye. Thank you. Bye bye.